So I hope you found your happiness a while ago, whatever it may be, as I mentioned earlier. And right now, first things first, what I want you to do is remove your coaching hat, your trainer's hat, your CEO's hat, celebrity's hat, whatever it may be. And what I want to see here is that version of yourself upon waking up without brushing your hair nor your teeth. Okay? That is the most honest and most vulnerable part of your life. Your presence here is the gift that you are giving to me and the rest of the people here simply because I have yet to see a room filled with so much talent and so much potential and perhaps so many stories in between. Now allow me to return that favor by giving you a surprise of which you may not actually know yet at this point in time. Next slide, please. What if I told you today that you would get to meet your future self? How would that feel? I saw eyes grew wild and wide in the process. Don't be scared. I'm not here to talk about anything supernatural, nor am I here to cast any spell on you guys. But what I want you guys to do is to journey with me, only if you can trust me on this, okay? So you can do this activity whether with open eyes or closed eyes for as long as you stay 100% present. That means that you don't check in Taj ends on your Facebook or upload stories as of the moment and just focus on going on a date with your future self. Okay? Next slide, please. Your future self is your authentic, unapologetic, grandest version of yourself. Your own hashtag best me ever, which, on a side plug, is my own coaching brand and the title of my best-selling books, all 6 of them. Okay, so now let's begin. Next slide, please. What I want you to do now is close your eyes, or if you don't want to close your eyes because you don't trust the person beside you, okay? I want you to just, declutter your mind and find your happy space. Think of a memory that you have, whether growing up, at present, or something that you have kept close to your heart for the longest time. I want you to relive that memory. Was it in Disneyland? Was it the first time that your husband proposed to you? Was it the first time that you had a kid? Was it the first time that you got promoted at work? Did you travel to Mumbai to receive an award? Whatever it may be, I want you to go to that space and stay there first. Next slide, please. Now, some questions to help you process this. Where would you be then? In Mumbai? At your home? In a place you used to visit frequently before? Who will you be then? In that happy space of yours, as your future self, what would you be then? What would be your work? What would you be doing? What would be surrounding you? What would you have achieved by then? Try to visualize everything and think about this. If you were coming from a space of possibilities and there was no limitation, what would your future self be like? Stop judging yourself right now and stop telling yourself that it's ridiculous. I cannot be this. I cannot be a successful trainer. I cannot be a world-renowned author. I cannot be a good CEO. I cannot win multiple awards. All those things I told to myself before I met my future self then. But what I'm doing right now is sharing with you a shortcut. So stop judging yourself and start looking within. What is it in your heart that's telling you that this is your future self? Now, imagine in that happy space, you are now walking towards your future self. You are running towards the person, you're probably just walking slowly, admiring your future self, no matter what that version of you may be. You may be in awe. You may never have expected that you have achieved this much or became the person that you've always wanted to be. But what I want you to remember now is, what is that feeling? How does it feel to finally come face to face with your future self? Don't mind the wrinkles. It can be remedied. Okay? Now, next slide, please. And upon meeting your future self, whether you gave him a hug, a kiss, or you cried out of joy, take this time to finally listen to your heart and what's in there for the longest time. Because right now, your future self will be talking to you only if you reflect truly and answer honestly each and every question that I would be giving you. Next slide, please. The first question that your future self has for you at this point in time is, what's the space you're in right now? Coming from honesty, are you really happy? Are you living the life that you want? Are you scared? Are you doubtful? Are you still letting your pains from the past take the lead? Have you yet recovered from your breakup, from a traumatic childhood experience, from a failure that left you doubting yourself and your self-worth? Acknowledge the space you're in right now, because that is your starting point. Your future self wants you to be honest, because we've all been there, and it would serve a very good lesson for you thereafter. Next slide, please. At this point in time, recognizing the space that you're in, inquire within and assess, what is it that you have to finally accept, to finally resolve, and to finally acknowledge? Is it about the lies that you grew up with? Did you grow up with people telling you that you weren't good enough? Did you grow up with people who made you feel less than who you really are? Did someone tell you that you would never amount to something? Or did you ever just put aside all your problems and make it appear to others that you're genuinely happy? Are you merely forcing yourself to go to work every single day because in your heart, you know that you deserve something else and you want to do something else, but your fear is stopping you? What do you need to accept right now and acknowledge, so that eventually anything that you accept and acknowledge would lead you to resolve it? Next slide, please. Everything happened for a reason, your future self said. Given that, whatever you've been through before, no matter how bad your past is, and I am talking from experience, the person that you're seeing right now came from an abusive relationship, a broken family, and a whole lot of failures, even before I felt that I was deserving to take center stage as I speak in front of you. I would have my own life story that could rival even the most tear-jerking dramas that you've seen on television. My journey towards the first ever mainstream media life coach in the Philippines who's openly gay, and the first perhaps that you're seeing right now in this conservative country which I love, loud and proud, taking up space. That was the lesson that my future self told me. What is that lesson that your future self is telling you right now? Is it about bouncing back? Is it about acceptance? Is it about forgiveness? Is it about loving yourself more? All those and more were my exact lessons too. So don't be afraid to listen and finally accept that whatever it is that you're hearing in your mind and heart right now, you're meant to do so. Next slide, please. learning those lessons, those very important lessons, no matter how painful they may be, would lead you to your next chapter. The people I see here right now, this is your beginning. Your success right now is not the ending. You can be a CEO now and be a travel vlogger after. You can be a coach and become the number one in the years to come. You can be someone who's earning millions and yet settle with the love of your life and live life simply. You can be anything and anyone that you want to be, but your future self is asking you right now, based on what you acknowledge and based on what you have yet to achieve and want in your life. How's the next chapter looking for you? You are the creator of your story. So don't ever let your past experiences or anything, your self-doubt, your pains from the past, or whatever it is that you're going through at present stop you from determining your next chapter. But mind you, it's okay to say, I don't know yet. But what's not okay is to stay there because your future self is waiting for you. And lastly, next slide, please. Please, don't ever disrespect your future self by saying, I just want to go back to whom I want to be before. You just can't. Well, on a personal note, I wouldn't want that for myself. I mean, who wants to be bullied? Who wants to be physically abused? Who wants to be said that you don't amount to anything good or that you'll never make it? I didn't want that. So I'm sharing the same things with you right now. Whom do you need to become means that what kind of person do you need to be? Do you need to be more committed? Do you need to be more loving? Do you need to be more understanding? Or do you need to be more honest with yourself to finally admit that this is what I want in life, that this is something that would finally make me feel happy, complete, and fulfilled? Never sacrifice any of those 3 words because those 3 words would make life meaningful for you and you would be able to achieve your future self. Next slide, please. But whatever your choice may be, no matter how ridiculous it may seem now or no matter how impossible it is right now, know that your future self is proud of you. So I want you to take this time to finally have a flashback about your life. How has it been? What's going on? What's going on around you? What's going on within? What do you finally need to do and be to become that future self you've envisioned yourself to be? Remember, your dreams and your goals are only as big as your commitment, and your future self is waiting for you to finally give it your 100% all. And on that note, whatever you're going through right now and whatever you've been through, and regardless of what still lies ahead, because we don't know, but what we know right now is that your future self is very proud simply because whatever path you take, next slide please, you're on your way to becoming your own #best me ever. My name is Myke Celis, and thank you for having me today. Mabuhay, Pilipinas. Next slide, please. There you go. Okay, so social media pages. I also go live on air on radio every Saturdays, 9 p.m. There's a Facebook live feed on every 9 p.m., DWIZ 882 a.m. I co-host a program entitled Beyond Wellness. So if you might want to tune in, and then all my other social media pages are there, and my books under the #BestMeEver brand. Thank you so much.
Excellent, excellent.